What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm George, and by now a lot of you have probably already seen my eBay rant video. Yeah, I got a little ugly, but I feel with good reason. I was scammed by a buyer on eBay, and eBay was just unwilling to help me. In fact, the answer that I got back from them was, that's the cost of doing business, which is freaking ridiculous when I think about that answer, considering that this is a company I've been doing business with for close to 20 years, and that is how you treat your customers. But while all of this was going on, Seth and I decided to put a video together to show you guys how to use the Makari app, which is something that he has been using for a while. If you're interested in seeing how to use the Makari app, I'll leave a link up here or in the description for you guys to get to that video. Now, at the time that we created the video, I had not really used the app all that much, maybe only once or twice, but Seth was really into it. And, I figured with all of the mess that I was dealing with eBay, it was time to give it a chance. So after close to 4 months of using the app, I gotta say that I'm really happy with my experiences over here. And I wanna share with you guys my thoughts on the features, the things that I like, the things that I feel that could be improved. But ultimately, I do feel that this is an excellent app for both sellers and buyers, especially sellers. If you are an average seller, and I'm not talking about like, a store. If you're a store, this is not what I'm addressing. If you're an average seller like me, somebody who just has an item in their house, a collectible, a hat, a sneaker, a poster, something that you don't want to have on your house anymore and you want to go ahead and sell it. If you're that kind of seller, I absolutely recommend you leaving eBay and making the jump to Makari. So let's get into my Makari review, starting out with the things that I like the most. So the first thing that I like about Makari is that it's a great place to find all kinds of things, from clothing to electronics. Very similar to what you would be looking for on eBay. Lots of great stuff to find here, but especially what I love the most is that it's a great place for me to go hunt down collectibles, which is what I do more often than I probably should. Also, camera equipment is another thing that I shop for that I find great pricing there for. And the reason why that is that the fees on Makari are a little bit lower than they are on eBay. So therefore, you're probably gonna find some better pricing here on Makari than you would on eBay from your sellers. Makari charges 10% at the close of a sale, plus 2.9% and 30 cents when it comes to process the payment. Now, if you decide to want the money like very fast, like if you wanted to take and have that money in your account like that second that it comes in, then yeah, you gotta pay a little bit more. But if you can wait the 3 days for it to process into your bank, there's no other fees beyond that. Now, as a buyer, when you're using the app and you search for something, it automatically logs that and then it will send you notifications to make you aware when new items that fit your search criteria become available. Once you do find something that you're looking for, you can shoot that seller a message to begin some kind of negotiations, or you can take and make an offer right off the base. Now, once the seller accepts the offer, they have 3 days to ship the item out, and it's as simple as that. All right, the second thing I like about Makari is the way they process their payments. So you as the buyer, you find the item that you're looking for. Let's say you find a Hot Toys Iron Man, right? And you find it, the seller and you get along very well, the conversation's good, you agree on an unbelievable price that you're good with, you take and you send payment to Makari. Now that seller has 3 days to take and ship the item out to you. Once you receive it, you have 3 days to go over the item and make sure everything is as described. During that entire time, Makari is holding the money in escrow. So you never have to worry about, as the buyer, that you sent money to the seller and then he disappears on you and you get some, box of rocks. And on the selling side, you don't have to worry about that the buyer is paying you with some kind of false payment and then also disappears with your item at that point. So both parties are protected. Another really cool feature about Makari is the way they handle the placement of their listings. So you as a seller decide that you're gonna sell something, right? Like I'm gonna sell, let's say I decide to sell my Darth Vader life-size bust back here, right? So I take and I'm gonna go and sell this item. When I take and create the listing gets placed at the top of the list. It's because I just placed that listing. They play by first come, first serve basis. It's not like other companies like eBay where there's favoritism to who pays for the listing, preferred sellers. If you decide to create free shipping or something like that, they don't play that kind of favoritism when it comes to Makari. Everybody has an equal chance to be at the top of the list, until somebody else places another listing that is similar to the one like yours. And then at that point, you'll get bumped down. But at least for some period of time, you are at the top of the list if somebody is searching for your item. So the next thing I really like about Makari is the way they handle their shipping services. Now, Makari uses the three major shipping companies. So you have United States Postal Service, UPS, and then FedEx is your options. But what I like about the way they handle their shipping charges is they're the ones that create the calculations, you know. So if the seller is selling an item and they put in their box size and weight, you know, Makari will take and calculate that, and then that'll be part of the listing. And then you as the seller can choose to either have the buyer pay for that, or you know, you can cover the selling, the shipping, and then offer free shipping. But at any rate, what's good about that is that there's no way for the seller to take and jack up the shipping charges, you know, and try to make some money in that aspect. Makari handles that whole thing. So, you know, they take and decide to say that the box is 10 times the weight that it was, you know, that it really is. They're not going to receive any extra money for doing that. So it doesn't really benefit them to do something like that. So that's cool. Another real cool service that they have is called Mercari Local, which just opened up recently. So Mercari Local is really neat if you sell something within, you know, your state or within your city limits, right? They use either FedEx and same day shipping, or they use Uber to come pick up your package and then deliver it to the buyer. So you don't have to get in your car and run the risk of, you know, possibly getting, you know, robbed or anything like that. None of that stuff is on you. They come and pick it up and then drop it off at the buyer. So there's, you know, perfectly safe for both the buyer and the seller, which is great. Also, when you use that service, Makari still covers it under their protection service, so you're perfectly safe when you decide to ship that way. Everything is exactly the same. The benefit is that, you know, you can take and, you know, have the same day shipping, like as if you were going to take and drive it over to whoever purchased it for you from you, but you don't actually have to get in the car and do that. So that's cool. But the absolute number one thing that I love about Makari, and this mostly goes for me when I'm coming to sell something here on Makari, is that the buyer has to open their item within 3 days of receiving the item so that they can verify the package contents. Now, why do I like this so much? You guys know exactly why I made the switch to Makari. I was scammed by a buyer, right? Most people get scammed by the seller, but I was scammed by the buyer. And the reason why I was scammed by the buyer is because eBay's policies allow the buyer 30 days, a 30-day window, which is freaking ridiculous, to go over their item, and then they take and regardless of what the outcome is, they will favor the buyer. You know, they only take and support sellers that offer free shipping, free returns, that kind of stuff. So they take and they play favorites for sellers that do stuff like that, which is great if you're a store. But for the average seller, if you take and you offer stuff like that and somebody takes and scams you in this kind of way, or you know, they choose to not ship it back to you or something like that, you can be out a lot of money as a seller if you're just selling one or one-off items here and there. Makari doesn't do that. Makari takes and they require that the buyer opens it up in 3 days, so that there's, you know, absolutely no way they can take and, you know, in the long road take and you know, scam you in some kind of way, saying that it was broken or there's missing parts, you know, nearly a month later. So that's a great thing that I think Makari does. Also, there's somebody there that will take and actually analyze the issue if an issue comes up. You know, they'll come in and they'll play a mediary, you know, for you and the seller, or you and the buyer. And, you know, they'll take and examine the conversation that happened back and forth, the photographs when it was shipped, the photographs when it was sent back. So there's somebody there to act as a mediary for the issue if an issue is to arise. That doesn't happen on eBay anymore. At least it hasn't happened for me. So this to me is great customer service in my opinion, and that's the reason why I like using Makari the most. Okay, so now you know the great things that I love about Makari. There are a few things that I feel could use a little bit of improvement. The first thing I feel that could use some improvement is their title system. So when you create a listing, you have 40 characters to fill out your title for whatever it is that you're selling, which is okay, you know, but for some items, it can actually not be long enough. You know, like I listed a figure recently, the Sideshow Princess Leia Bausch 6-scale figure, and that was just way too many words for you to be able to do that. So you have to get a little bit more creative when it comes to listing a piece that you're going to be selling. All right. I feel that if they were to increase that to maybe 70 characters, you know, it would be a little bit easier for us to create our titles. The second thing that I think could use a little bit of improvement is the search engine. So when you go to Makari and you're going to buy something, let's say you're going to search for Hot Toys Star Wars, you know, that's what your search is gonna be. What comes up first is Hot Wheels, and then you'll get some Star Wars toys, maybe you'll get some toys, and then down near the bottom is where you start seeing Hot Toys and Hot Toys Star Wars. I think that should be in reversed. I've done other searches to see how that works, and it kind of is mostly the same. You can put very specific what you're looking for, and you'll start getting stuff up in the list that really doesn't match what you're looking for. So I think that could be reworked just a touch. And that's really it for the stuff that I feel could use a little bit of an improvement. As you can see, it really wasn't that big of a deal. They're just small little changes, giving a little more characters to the title and then improving the search engine. That's some basic stuff. Everything else about Makari, I feel, is a great solution for both buying and selling, especially if you're an average seller. I feel it's a more safe environment than trying to sell at eBay. So if you are already using eBay, or you're having issues with eBay, I would highly recommend for you to make the leap and give Makari a try. It's a really great application for both buying and selling. Now, if you're looking for a tutorial on how to use the app specifically, like I said earlier in the video, Seth and I created one earlier, about 4 months ago almost. So if you want to see that video, I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to get to it. Now, if you have any questions about using the Makari app, I'll be happy to help you guys. Just go ahead and leave a comment in the comments below, and I'll try to get back to you guys in a prompt manner. Otherwise, let me know what you guys think about Makari if you're already using it. And until next time, guys, keep it marvelous.